Zoom is an amazing production tool. Let's not split hairs. Let's call a spade what a spade is, right? We have some clients who want to use Google Meet, or they want to use Teams, or they want to use something else, but pretty much our preferred workflow as far as like, hey, let's all get together and make a show together. Now, maybe we might put in some of the content, right? So the back end producer place can be for the Zoom, also the guests, the rooms. Like, we've created probably like 8 different workflows using Zoom, sometimes as an input source into a switcher, sometimes as an out. I mean, it's crazy, right? I think that as a production tool, it's allowed the our industry to innovate in a way that we wouldn't have otherwise been able to. So we use SRT. We have a product called LiveX Director that gets you 200 to 400 milliseconds so that someone can actually cut cameras remotely, right? Like, I think back to that latency thing and the Zoom thing, it's like you almost have this differentiation of products for the thing that you're trying to do. Hey, I'm a director, I need to cut a show. Okay, well, you need this ultra low latency product. Hey, I'm a backbench producer and 1 to 2 seconds is okay for me. Okay, well, we're gonna put you in a Zoom. Hey, I have 20 consumers that have to come on this show and they have their laptop camera. Okay, get our Rivet app or use Zoom. So I think it's been kind of revolutionary. I think it was made for this moment. And I wanted to poo-poo it so hard. I'm telling you, like, I wanted to be like, you're gonna use Zoom, you don't know what you're doing in March. And I was full of shit. Like, it is a legit product for today's market.
Well, I definitely can echo those sentiments, because early in March, when I was, my whole business was just consulting my existing, or my previous clients, we'll call them, because they were no longer doing much business, but consulting with them as to how they were going to pivot and what platforms they were going to use. And the obvious one seemed to be Zoom, but because they were going through some challenges early on, I was able to say, well, yes, you can use Zoom, but here's some of the challenges. Here are some other platforms that you may want to be looking at, and that I can recommend and train you on. So, as a consultant, it was good to be able to recommend something that was different than the consumer or the obvious option. But now it's harder to not recommend Zoom, because it's stable, it does a really good job, everyone has used it, and you need to have a really compelling reason not to recommend it moving forward.
I think Corey would probably agree with me on this. Is the reason not to use Zoom would be if you had, like Corey's great product, by the way, Corey Rivet, to bring multiple people in that you need to control. That's where you use the other tools. If
Yep.
you just need easiness and just a common way for everybody to get into it, then Zoom's still a go-to without a doubt. Teams is right behind it for us, especially with the new NDI outputs. That opened up a whole nother world for us also.